Hi guys, it's Kiarko here, back with another speed build. This is a speed build of what I'm calling a European city block, and the reason that I'm calling it a European city block and not like a specific European city like Paris or Berlin or anything like that, is because I'm not really trying to reference one particular European location. It's just kind of generally inspired by European architecture and style and stuff. That being said, it may seem inaccurate to people who are actually from Europe or live there or anything, because again, I'm not like an expert on European design, style, and architecture. I'm just a fan of it. I just like looking at it and I think it's very beautiful. So this is my interpretation of what a European city block would look like in a made-up European city. So here I am just putting in some stuff from the debug menu, just trying to find little bits and pieces of stuff that can make the space seem really cool. You know, like things that look like they'd be in public. Like you can see I put down those little black bar things on the ground back there. And I think those are to like prevent bikes and cars from like entering like certain locations. And I thought that was a cool little detail. Also these little like chain fence things. I also thought those added like a really interesting public space kind of detail. So the way that I end up doing this lot is this is the video of the exterior of the lot. So this is where I'm going to be doing all the exteriors, you know, all my walls, my roofs, stuff like that. And then I will be doing the interiors in several different videos over time. I'm not just going to do one big interior video. And the reason for that is that I do very specific builds in the interiors. For example, I'm going to do like this really cool restaurant build in one of the interiors here. And that'll be its own video. And then I do like an apartment build, which is really, really cool. And several other builds over time. So keep an eye out for those because there's going to be a lot of videos in relation to this European city block series. I'm not sure how many videos, I think more than 5 because it's a very massive lot. I do end up with a lot of interiors that I have to you know, build and stuff. So it's going to be a little bit of a mini series, but I hope you guys enjoy this. I don't think I've done, have I done a European build recently? I don't think I have. I'm not quite sure. I don't really remember my my filmography, I guess you could call it. I'm very scatterbrained sometimes, so these things slip my mind occasionally. But I don't think I've done anything recently that's been like super European inspired, but I might be wrong. Anyways, as you can see, this building here is actually a shell. It's from the debug menu, and by shell I mean it is just a mesh of a house. Like there's nothing actually on the inside. It's just a mesh. There's no walls or anything like that. Sims can't go inside it. It's just like an object basically. And the reason I put this building here is because again, this lot is really massive. I think it's a 50 by 50, but I'm not quite sure. But it's just massive. It's a lot of space, and if I tried to fill up that space like totally with like pure manual builds, then it would be like an hour-long video, and I would have like way more interiors to do. So I put this shell down here just to kind of make this whole thing a little bit easier on me, just so I have a little bit more I can just be a little bit more relaxed and not have to worry about filling up such a huge space. But the rest of the builds, or the rest of the buildings that'll be around the shell, will be manually built with interiors and all that stuff. So this is the only shell I end up using. But yeah, it's a nice shell. I think it fits in well with the European vibe. You can see it's kind of off lot a little bit, and I did that so I had like more room because I needed more room. But I actually think it works quite well the way it's kind of off lot. It doesn't look super weird. I feel like it works. Anyways, as you can see, I'm just setting up the exterior of this building here, just trying to make it seem a little bit used, you know, having the car there with like the dirt paths behind the car to make it look like it was driven in, and just little details here and there. So now we're going to go in and put up the first building. This is going to be, let's see, what is it? The bottom part is a restaurant, and then the top part is going to be like this apartment complex. And it's so cool. I really like the interiors of this build, so please look out for those videos because I think you're really gonna like them. I downloaded a lot of new custom content recently that I think you guys are gonna love. So watch those videos because you will see a lot of cool new stuff. Like look at these windows. Beautiful, amazing. These are pieces of custom content from the creator Felix Andre, who is a god, like an incredible custom content creator. And I recently became a patron of theirs on Patreon. And I'll link their Patreon down below so you guys can check them out too, because truly their work is so incredible, and I love it. Like look at these windows, they're so beautiful. Like and these little like details here that I'm putting against the wall, they're so beautiful. I'm just such a fan. So check them out down below. yeah. Anyways, I'm just doing the exterior here. You can see me putting in the windows. This little like floor tile thing I put in the center of that building there. For the reason that it looked cool. And then I'm putting these little shop signs above the windows. Like I said, the bottom part of this particular building is going to be a restaurant, and the top part is going to be an apartment complex. So the signs are on the bottom to indicate that this is a restaurant and you can come in and eat and stuff. But here I'm just putting down some tiling because there's going to be like a little bit of an outdoor portion of this restaurant. Because I feel like whenever I look at pictures of like European cities and stuff, there's like a lot of cafes and restaurants, and there's always like outdoor eating spaces, like little bistros and stuff. And I mean that I see that in America too, but I feel like that's also like a really big thing there of like little outdoor bistros. You know what I mean? Like with the little like the bistro chairs and stuff. I don't know what I'm talking about. I've been to Europe honestly like once in my life, and it was such an amazing experience, and I was so lucky, and I'm very grateful to have been able to go. And I really hope that one day I'm able to go back and revisit, because it just was an incredible experience. I don't know. If I'm ever able to go back, I will let you guys know, and I won't talk about it so much because I'd be so happy to be able to visit again. It's an incredible place to be. That being said, I wasn't like touring Europe. I didn't like see a lot of Europe. The only place I went to is Berlin, but Berlin was alone just amazing. Anyways, here I am just putting in little lines on my road to make it seem like an actual road, because again, like I wanted it to be a city block, so I wanted it to have like a road down the middle to seem more realistic, like it was like actually part of the city and cars could like go down there. I know like when I was doing research for this, and I say research while I'm doing quotation marks in the air, in the sense that my research is just me looking at like European buildings on Pinterest. But in my research, I did see that there are like a lot of like cobblestone paths through city blocks that aren't necessarily, I'm not sure if they're accessible by cars or not, but I know that cobblestone paths are a huge thing where people just like walk on the street and stuff. And I was gonna incorporate that, but I don't know why I didn't. Honestly, now that I say it, I don't know why I didn't. I just put a road instead. I feel like maybe that was my American brain speaking to me, being like, oh, they need to drive cars. But I feel like in other countries, maybe, I don't know about Europe, but I feel like in other countries there's a lot more like walkability in certain places. So maybe I should take that into account here. But I don't know, maybe they could still walk on the road. It's fine. There's no cars in the game. The Sims will walk on the road. It's fine. But here I'm just putting in my roofing. You can see I'm just putting in some stuff to line it. And then I'm just going to put in I don't know what you call this, a trim, I guess. A little building trim on top. Oh, wow, this is looking good, you guys. It looks very, very cool. I'm very, very, very happy with how this build turns out. And I hope you guys are too. I hope you guys enjoy this. But yeah, you can see me putting in some flooring here. I'm just changing this flooring really quickly because I wasn't really liking the color tone it was giving me. It was too yellow and I wanted something a little bit more neutral. So I changed it to this kind of more neutral, like light pink white flooring instead. And then I pop a car down the center. I changed the car from this one to a van. And the reason for that is just I already used that other car mesh in front of the other building and I didn't want to like repeat my mesh use, I guess. So yeah. But here I am trying to figure out how I'm gonna do the roof of this place. I kind of was a little bit lost for a second. You could see me optioning a couple different things because I was trying to figure out how the heck I wanted to do the roof. I originally went with this idea of having 3 floors with like the 3rd floor like in the center of the roof, and then that kind of looked weird, so I ended up scrapping that. So it's just gonna be a 2-story build. And then the roof is just going to be like this like rounded top roof, but you'll see that in a second once I finish figuring out what I'm doing here. But yeah, this is an interesting roof that I'm doing here. You can see it's got like some weird angles and stuff, but I actually think it kind of works. I put all these like little eagle statue things on each of the corners because I thought that was a pretty cool detail. And then let's see, what am I doing here? I'm just trying to figure out the top part, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Roofing is very hard for me sometimes. It's definitely one of my weaker skill sets in building. I know that like you can be really creative with the roof too. I've seen a lot of builders be really, really creative with it. I just haven't mastered it yet. I don't know why. Roofing is just difficult. I don't know. Like I tried this kind of deal where there were like stripes with like glass in the middle, but it looked kind of weird. I don't know. Wasn't a fan. So I do end up scrapping that. So let's see, what are we doing here? Yeah, so you can see me just playing around with it a little bit, but it all looked weird, so I ended up just scrapping the third floor entirely just because I was getting angry with it, and it kept looking weird. So we just go with this rounded top roof. It works. I think it works pretty well, actually. I'm gonna put in some little details on the top. We're gonna put in these, let's see, what are we doing here? Oh, these little, I don't know what you call them, like little bars and stuff on the roof. I don't know the purpose of these. I think it's like to prevent, is it to prevent like birds from landing? Like, you know when people put like spikes on the roof? I don't know what it's for. Like, is it to like break up snow? Or is it to like repel birds? I don't know. Let me know if you guys know what like roof spikes are for. But yeah, you can see me adding more little details, lamppost, spikes, etc., etc. Now we're gonna set up the exterior of the building next to it, which is kind of inspired by the architecture of like a old European church, but that's not what it's gonna be. Maybe I'll make it like, because I'll be totally honest with you guys, I've done all my interiors so far. Like, I've pre-built all my interiors for this build already, except for this particular one that I'm building right now. So I don't actually know what this one's gonna be yet, but let me know if you have any ideas about what you would want the interior of this particular building to be, because it does, like I said, it does kind of look like a church a little bit. So maybe it could be like a church that's converted into something like a library or a home, or maybe like a daycare. I'm not quite sure. Let me know what you think would work best here, because I honestly don't know yet. But yeah, here I'm just putting in, let's see, more walls and stuff, I guess. Little details. Isn't this so beautiful? Like those arches on the outside. That's also from Felix Andre. Incredible custom content creator. I've been looking into creating custom content a lot recently. Like, I'm familiar with the recolors. Like, I can do recolors. Totally fine, no problem with recolors. I don't know how to create original meshes and use them in the game. Like, for example, these are all original meshes that Felix created, like the windows, he created those in some sort of like 3D software program, I'm assuming. And I would love to learn that, you know? Like, I have Blender on my computer, because I'm pretty sure Blender is free. I think I have Blender, because I think Blender is free. I remember like vaguely once like trying to learn it and downloading Blender, and I think it was free. So I have Blender. And I know that you can use Blender to create 3D items for the game. I just don't know how. Like, I don't know how to do it, and I don't know how to like put it in game. But you know what? I might figure it out someday. And if I do, I will definitely release a shit ton of custom content, and all you guys will get it, because you know, you guys deserve good custom content. If that's what I end up creating. I hope I can create good custom content. I wouldn't want to create bad custom content. Though I rarely see bad custom content. I feel like everyone who creates custom content is so talented and so passionate, because like there's really no like incentive or necessarily like a reward for doing it. It's just like you do it because you want to do it and you want to contribute to the community. So that's my little love letter spiel to custom content creators. I think they're amazing. I compliment them every single video that I have. But they are honestly like the gods of my game, but more than EA, because they like most of my builds. In fact, almost all of my builds include custom content, and I do believe that I probably, honest to God, I would not play The Sims if I didn't have the ability to use custom content. That's that's the full truth of it. That's just me. But yeah, let me know if you guys know any like tutorials or anything on how to create custom content, because I would love to get into it. I have a lot of really cool ideas, and I would love to share it with you, so let me know. Anyways, you can see me setting up the exterior here, putting in a little patch. This is gonna have like some bushes and stuff. Really pretty bushes, there we go. And you can see it does kind of look like a church a little bit, like with the spiky arch roof thing going on here, and the little like round windows, and even the way the other windows look too, with like the black lattice across and the arch. It looks a lot like a church. So I'm thinking it's like a church that was converted into something, you know? Or maybe it's like a library? I don't know. Let me know what you guys would want to have like on the interior of that one, because I don't know. Anyways, on the outside here, I just end up putting in some tables for people to sit at, just because I wanted to make use of this space that people could, you know, come and sit down. I don't know, like I don't know how that would inform the interior of the building, but maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. Some benches and some trash cans and stuff like that. And then over here is going to be our last building. The interior of this one is going to be like a fashion house, like a Parisian fashion house. It's going to be really, really cool. So keep an eye out for that video too. But I'm keeping this architecture pretty simple. Again, using a bunch of doors and windows that I'm pretty sure that I got from Felix Andre. Let's see, which door do I go with? Oh, that one. Yeah, that's from Felix. It's so pretty. It's so, like, I love this custom content. It's so fabulous. And then on top, I'm gonna put these little, what are they called? Awnings? Just little, like, shop signs. But like I said, it's gonna be like a really cool fashion house, so I want it to look very like elegant and kind of like Dior, Chanel looking, I guess. More of that chain detail back here, I think. Do I? No. Oh yes, I do. To like separate this back area, like it's a little bit closed off from the public. I'm gonna put in these little details where there's gonna be trees. They're like, I don't know what you call those little black metal things where you put trees, like tree holders. Yeah, you can see me putting in a tree in there now. Like, I don't know what it is, what's called, a tree shoot, a tree tube, I guess. But I use those because I wanted to add some nature into this like city block area. Putting in, let's see, a second floor here. And the second floor is also going to be part of the fashion house. Like the bottom floor is going to be like the retail area, and then the top floor is going to be like the designer space slash like where they take like VIP customers and stuff. It's a really cool build. I hope you guys like that one too. But I'm gonna put in more beams, more windows, you know, just building my build. Putting in, let's see, oh, these little windows, which I thought went well with like the black and white look at the bottom. And then on top here, we're just gonna put in a very simple roof thing. I think, I'm not quite sure. Let's see what I do with the roof here. I tried to experiment with like roof stuff, and I feel like all my roofing looks turned out pretty well. You know, like I did this weird thing where it's like a triangle roof on a round roof, but it actually ends up looking pretty cool. Which maybe is like something a lot of builders have discovered before me, but again, I'm very new to the well, I'm not new to it, but I'm just not very good at the roofing tool. So if you guys have any tips or tricks on how to make cooler, better roofs, I would love to hear it, because I really need to learn how to, you know, make creative roofs. But I do feel like a lot of my roofs ended up pretty good in this build. But yeah, we're almost done here. Just adding in the last few details, little plants on these tables. Again, just to bring in more green into the space, because I did feel like there's a lot of rocks and neutral colors going on, and I definitely wanted more green here. But look at this lot, isn't it beautiful? I feel like this looks really cool, like with the street down the middle, you know, and all these little details. I think it looks really, really cool. I would love to visit here. I'd love to stroll down this street. It'd be so amazing. Honestly, like my dream trip would I'd probably spend like 50% of the time thrifting in Europe. Like anywhere I would go on vacation, like literally anywhere in the world I would travel to, a lot of the time would be spent thrifting. I mean, obviously I would do other stuff too, but I just love thrifting so much, and the ability to do it in other countries and like see the fashion of other countries and like inherit the clothes of people who have lived there. It'd be so freaking cool. Because I don't know if you guys have I talked about this much before, but I'm a huge thrifter in real life. Like I thrift like all the time, and like my whole closet is just like thrifted stuff. Like I don't own a single thing that I bought like new. I think everything I own, yeah, no, literally everything I own is thrifted, now that I'm thinking about it, except for like one pair of shoes, but sometimes I like buying new shoes. But other than that, everything is thrifted, just because it's a lot cheaper. You know, I'm totally getting off track now. I'll talk more about thrifting in another video. Anyways, this is the build. I really hope you guys like it. I really like it. I got to use a lot of new custom content, and I think it turned out looking like pretty freaking cool. But again, keep a lookout for the interior videos. There will be quite a few of them. Like I said, there'll be some apartment builds, there'll be a really cool restaurant build, there'll be a fashion house build, and let me know what you'd like to see for the church-looking building, what interior you would like to see there, because I haven't built it yet, so I would like some ideas for that. But if you guys have been keeping track of my channel, I do plan on starting my Let's Play series, a series of Some Fortunate Events, pretty soon. I've been doing a couple videos about it recently, and the first episode will be released pretty soon. It's just taking longer to edit than I anticipated. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.